Hello, my name is Jason Maraton, and I'm going to spend the next 10 hours or so working with you on really understanding Maxwell Render 2. Right up front, I would like to thank everyone at NextLimit for their tireless support of this project. You may very well be watching this on their excellent Think site, which is a remarkable resource, and I highly recommend that you check out all of their other excellent tutorials that they have made available for free to their users. NextLimit is a top-notch company, and in my experience, if you approach them with a polite manner, they are among the most helpful and responsive software companies that I have ever dealt with. To start with, if you have a background in mathematics or physics, then you will most likely find Maxwell Render very easy to understand and use because it is all based on real-world physics and some math like trigonometry. However, since I'm an artist, I personally had very little training in these areas, and while I was able to pick up most of it along the way, it was a lot to wade through just to get some nice renders. And that is what the point of this training is. I want to share with you when and where the complicated stuff matters, and when and where it can be as simple as you want it to be. That is not to say that Maxwell is complicated. It is actually elegantly simple, especially when one takes into account how very powerful of a render engine it really is. No, the difficulty comes from the fact that much like in the real world, everything is related to everything else. And so a small change in one spot can affect many other things. So wrapping our brain around all those simple but very interrelated pieces of the software is going to be the primary focus of this training. I'm going to take it step by step and try to explain everything as thoroughly as possible, so that by the end of this training you will be able to open up the program and understand what everything is and what it does. Then the choice will be yours as to how you want to utilize the software. The reason why I'm specific on that issue is there are many specialized industries that use Maxwell Render, and with many different purposes and goals. I don't want to limit the value of this training, so I will be as general as possible, so no matter what field you work in, what I'm talking about will have application for you. To that end, I'm going to avoid complicated, industry-specialized scenes, and for the most part I will stay within the confines of Maxwell itself. Because even though most users will be using one of Maxwell's many free plugins with their preferred 3D application, every Maxwell user has access to the core Maxwell components. And the truth is that any plugin I focus on will have bits in it that would be different from other 3D applications plugins. Also worth noting is the fact that several popular 3D applications do not have a Maxwell plugin at this time. However, Maxwell Studio allows an environment where different objects from many different 3D packages can all be brought together and worked with inside a very powerful and unified interface. There will be a lot of work files included in this training, as well as over 2,000 ready-to-use Maxwell materials that I customize myself, which will help you on your way to mastering Maxwell Render. So let's go ahead and get started.